Well, tributes are pouring in for veteran Malaysian opposition leader Karpal Singh. He was killed in a road accident early this morning while on his way to Penang for a court case. The car he was in is said to have crashed into a lorry along the North-South Expressway near Gopeng in Perak. Mr. Karpal's longtime assistant, Michael Selvam, was also killed. Channel NewsAsia's Melissa Go with this report from Kuala Lumpur.
Many Malaysians woke up this morning to the tragic news that 73-year-old veteran opposition politician Karpal Singh had died in a car crash along the North-South Highway. Now, Mr. Karpal has been a controversial figure in Malaysia's politics. Now, he joined the Democratic Action Party, DAP, in 1970, and throughout his 40 years political career, he's been held under the country's security laws, suspended for parliament numerous times, and just last month, he was forced to resign as his party chairman after he was convicted of sedition. Now, his reputation as a feisty lawyer won him the moniker Tiger of Jelutong after the name of the constituency he held for 5 terms. Now, despite being wheelchair-bound after a road accident in 2005, Mr. Karpal remained a fighter both in courtrooms and in parliament.
I think we're all devastated, and we have lost a legal legend.
He's a fearless man. He stands for the right of the people. He's to fight for the freedom, He's never been too afraid to speak up for the right thing, and it's a great loss to the nation.
He's an enemy and friends that you've got. But he's a legend in this legal fraternity. We'll miss him a lot, and I learned a lot from him also.
As Malaysians offer prayers and condolences to the family, the nation mourns the passing of a feisty politician, fondly remembered for his fighting spirit and righteousness. Melissa Go, Channel NewsAsia, Kuala Lumpur.
And joining us now from Penang in Malaysia is Zairil Kirit Johari, the Executive Director of Penang Institute. It's the think tank of the opposition Penang State government. Zairil is also the National Publicity Advisor for the Democrat Action Party, or better known as DAP. Zairil, welcome to the show. Now, tell us first, how well did you know Mr. Karpal, and what personal memories do you have of him?
Professionally, I've known him. I've worked with him for the last 3 years. But I've known him since I was young, at least on a casual and social basis, because my parents knew him. Though he and my father were on opposing benches, they always had high regards for each other. And he was also my mother's MP. She always voted for him all her life, and she would proudly tell everyone that. So I think I consider it a privilege to have had the opportunity to have served not only in the party's central committee with him, but also in Parliament.
Zairil, many Malaysians know that Mr. Karpal was a prominent lawyer and opposition figure. How do you think Mr. Karpal Singh will be remembered in the country? Zairil, you were telling us how Mr. Karpal Singh will be fondly remembered by Malaysians. Go ahead.
That's right. And I think, honestly, he was a legend, and he'll be remembered as a legend by all of us. Not just as an 8-term MP and a prominent lawyer, but as a true Malaysian patriot. And I think if there's any one thing that everyone will remember him for, it would probably be his consistency in sticking to his principles. And I think that, if anything, would define Mr. Karpal Singh's career.
Well, besides the layman, Mr. Karpal being a controversial figure, Zairil, leaders across the political divide are also paying a tribute. Can you tell us more about that?
Indeed. We had the Deputy Prime Minister pay his respects earlier in person at the wake, and there's been other leaders from across the divide as well. I think the Chief Justice issued a statement, and the Prime Minister was one of the first to tweet about it, about his passing. So I think this all shows how everyone, no matter who you were, held Karpal Singh with such high regards, respect and admiration. Even in Parliament, it was very obvious that whenever Karpal Singh would speak, that the House would fall silent. And I think that really shows how highly respected he was.
Mr. Karpal Singh stepped aside as your party chairman last month following his conviction for sedition, which he was appealing. How big a blow will his demise be for the DAP and the Malaysian opposition?
Honestly, I think it's devastating. In many ways, Karpal Singh was our standard bearer. He was our conscience. He always reminded us to stick to our principles. And I'm sure his loss will be felt for a very, very long time. But I also do know for a fact that, if anything, Mr. Karpal would only want us to continue fighting against injustice, abuse of power, against corruption, and that's exactly what we'll do. We'll carry on the fight.
And Zyril, with his passing, this also means there will be a by-election for Mr. Karpal Singh's Bukit Gelugo parliamentary seat. Who do you think can fill his shoes?
Well, I can't think of bigger shoes to fill to begin with. But you're right, there would be a by-election. And I think the choice of candidate is something that the party has to consider very seriously and very wisely. But I can tell you that so far there have been no discussions yet. So I can't really comment on who it may be. But certainly I can say those would be very, very big shoes to fill.
All right, Zyril, thank you so much for joining us.